Bit of a moment this. Quite a slope on this entrance, and it does look a little bit slippy. Well, I said I was going to bring you somewhere awesome, and that's exactly what I've done. Welcome to Thor's cave. Thor, the mighty god of thunder, smashing ice giants with Mollinger, his hammer, then laying beautiful maidens. Now that sounds like a lot of fun, but I'm here from a slightly different perspective. We're here to look at the angle of Stone Age activities that have taken place in this cave. Oh God, this is slippery. People have been coming to this cave for thousands of years, even as far back as the Paleolithic, because a cave like this would have offered great protection from the outdoors. That is assuming it's not already occupied by vicious animals like wild cave bears. Nice. So this isn't too deep. So following this passage, we're kind of coming into another section of the cave. Goes off around here. Certainly gets the imagination fired up, doesn't it? Always get the little nominal cave spiders. Little bloated black suckers. It's at this point, I think it's fair to say that I'm actually experiencing a level of fear. And I know there's not any bears in here, so it's kind of unreasonable to be experiencing fear of what? And that takes some managing, because it's one of them things, isn't it? When you're dealing with fear, what do? Do you run? Do you confront it? But at least being aware of it gives you a level of perception. And that is actually one of the reasons why I'm doing this, because I know that things like this are going to come up, particularly if you sleep in a place like this. As you can hear, all you can hear is constant dripping. It's quite funny because I've put myself into this situation many times before. Wow. This particular part of the cave feels like somewhere that I can recognise that people would have come and spent time. One of the things they could have been doing was crafting, making, mending tools, repairing their kit. I felt compelled to appease the gods here of this cave, play a little music. Got a feeling the acoustics might be quite nice. Sounds good. Sounds beautiful in here. Anyhow, coming back onto the whole idea of coming to the cave and bringing back to life some of the activities that would have taken place in here, we have to think about what things have been discovered. So they found a Neolithic polished axe, but I'm not about to start one of them. And they also found some beaker pottery. I'm not doing that either. Alongside that, they found some amber beads. Now, beads aren't particularly easy to make in the first place, but I'm going one step further. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make, or attempt to, make a bead from something called a grendel. And a grendel is one of the front upper jaw teeth out of a red deer. Has a bit of a grinding plate on it and a root. So with flint, what we're going to do is we're going to explore drilling a hole through that. Grendels, funny little name. These tiny little teeth. But the interesting thing is, look, I can even show you in this light. That's the round bit of the tooth, and that's the little flat bit. And that's what I need to drill through. Holding it is something that I hadn't given great consideration to. Quite interestingly, here I have my mammoth bone beads. Everything I brought in is getting wet. I have glue in there, and for that I'm going to need fire. Now I have a bit of a thing with fire in caves. The fire has to take place outside because you never know what bats are in here. Anyway, this tiny little thing here is about the sum total of what they would have had up here at this end of the country to make their tools with, and have a rock here with a view of touching it just on the edge. I should be able to cast a flake out of that that would then become a drill. So let's have a little look at that. I brought two things, didn't I? I bought the soft hammer, which is already trying to slide away into the darkness. And I think if we hit this here with the soft hammer, we should cast a flake quite easily. You might get a longer one than if we did it with the stone. Well, that didn't work. Let's try with the stone then. On that occasion, we got this. Now, during the video, I am going to show you how to set it up. But what I've already taken the time to do was pre-make a drill, if I can find it. Got one that needs to be set up, and somewhere in here we have one that has been set up and has broken in transit. So the situation we find ourselves in now is that we're going to need to go back outside where I can light a fire. So to do the fire, I've come out of the cave. Like I said, I think any cave you go in, you have to think about bats. And it's not fair to disrupt their home. And I am going to need a drill. So let's explore what I've got in this bag properly. First of all, I've got a shell with some pine resin in it, which we will be putting on top of that flame in just a minute. We then have the little bag full of the deer's teeth, the antler. Having to put it all behind me because even out here everything's wet. I've got some nettle fibre for cordage, pressure flaker, hammerstone, and yeah, good. I did make a little pre-made burin for drilling with. So if we look at that, that's slightly on the twist, so we could do straightening that out a little bit. Hold that in the hand. Just a few little flakes pushed off underneath, just so that will go on that stick properly. It's amazing, isn't it? You come all this way to get the right ambience, and you've got some prat over there with a chainsaw. Anyway, so when you're using shells to cook resin with, you need to be a bit careful that you don't heat them up too quick. Now, all said and done, that's a bit hot, so I'm hoping I don't explode the little scallop shell. The idea is I've made this stick like that. We're going to laminate that onto there. I can already see that that's too long, so I'm going to shorten that. Straight away that's better. And the resin is going already, look. This little firebox is by Petromax. It doesn't take a lot of room, and I don't like burning the ground. I'm a no trace kind of camper. Yeah, we better move it out because that's on fire. That'll go out in a second, and that'll be actually enough heat for what I want. Incidentally, that is my view. Let's try that out. That's nice and hot and sticky. And then it's also on the back of the flint. We'll pop them two things together. No fancy knots here, just literally we want to get that tied on. Quickly and tightly. There's a group of people trying to get up into the cave, and to be fair, it is ever so slippy. Over there a couple of times. Then if I pull that tight, that will just snap off. And then all we're going to do with that, going to put a little bit more resin over the top of it and dip that antler in there. Look, we can wipe that off when we're finished. And then all we're going to do is just smooth it around and wave that once again in the heat. It's tricky. Through one side, and now I'm trying to break through the other. The thing is with enamel is it's so tough, yet the root is substantially softer. But it's, as you can imagine, that's quite a tricky little thing to be holding on to. I'm going to stick it in the glue. At least that's can form the shape to hold the bead, and then I'll extract the bead afterwards. One Grendel bead. That was a tricky little sucker to get through there, but we're through. Interesting thing with primitive technology, it's not always in the fast lane. It's not all about killing and punching and stabbing things. Sometimes it's more about the more gentle, subtle refinements of skills. And they knew that all too well. So I've only got another 150 to go, and we'll have a full string necklace.